In order to find the inverse of this exponential function, we want to do the first step by switching x and y. So I'm going to take x and y and change them. So that's going to be x instead of y equals 4e to the y plus 2 minus 5. So I switched x and y. Then, like all inverse problems, you now need to solve for y. So it's a function that you could graph y equals. Okay, so I need to get y by itself. So we're going to do the order of operations backwards, meaning we're going to do add, subtract first, then we're going to multiply, divide off, then we're going to take exponents, and so forth. So the first thing I do is add the 5 off. Get rid of that. That leaves me with x plus 5 equals 4e to the y plus 2. So now, I got to get this exponent by itself, so I get that off. So that's held by multiply. So to get that 4 off, you're going to divide it off, and you do that to both sides. So what you now have is x plus 5 over 4 equals e y plus 2. So here we go. I now have the exponent by itself, so now you're going to switch it into a log. But before I do that, I want to rewrite it so the exponent's on the other side. For me, it is easier to have the exponents on the left side than on the right side. Having it on the left side is just a little bit cleaner. So let's get this into a log format. In order to change to a log format, I'm going to put the word log. The base is going to be e, and then I'm going to switch these two pieces. Okay, when I switch those two pieces, I'm going to put the x plus 5 over 4 here, and the y plus 2 here. Let me recap this. So, I need to rewrite this in a cleaner method real quick. Actually, let me restate that. I want to get y by itself. Okay, but before I go there, how did I get to this format? I put the word log right here, and I switched these two. So I put the word log and switch these two. Okay, but now I want to get y by itself. So how do you get rid of this 2? You minus it off. So I'm going to minus the 2. So I now have negative 2 plus ln x plus 5 over 4 equals y. Now you might wonder, where did ln come from? Well, log base e is ln. Where does negative 2 come from? Well, when I minus 2, is that the same as adding negative 2? If I minus 2, is that the same as adding negative 2? Yeah. Could I have also put a minus 2 here instead of in the front? Yeah. Just depends. I decided to put it in the front. Negative 2 plus. So a better way of writing this is to put y equals negative 2 plus ln x plus 5 over 4. You always want to put a y equals instead of equals y. It's just better looking. Now again, could I put the negative 2 in the back? Yes. I just like to have it in front so you don't accidentally subtract it into the log. It's your call. This would be the inverse of this exponential. If we start as an exponent, your inverse is always a log. If you started with the log, your inverse would be an exponent. It's just the inverse operations of each other. So we're going to now solve this function, this formula, for r. So I get r by itself. It's in the power. So I can't really touch this, but I can get rid of that p. So the first step is, let's get rid of that p by dividing it off. So I'm going to divide both sides by p. That leaves me with a over p is equal to e to the power rt. Now, I don't like the exponent on the right side, so I'm just going to flip-flop it. I like to have exponents on the left side. It's just a preference of mine. It helps. So all I did is I took this and flip-flopped it so exponents on the left instead of the right. So how do we get this r out of the exponent? We have to change this to a log. So this is going to be a log. It's going to be base e, and then we're going to switch these two parts. So inside the log is going to be a over p, and the rt is going to go the other side. So I made this into a log. That's why I don't like this, because I like when the exponent's on the left. in order to make the log. It just makes more sense to me. So right now, we switch this into a log. Now, can we get t off the r? Yeah, you could divide it off. Now you could divide the t off, and you have r equals, now log base e is ln a over p divided by, all divided by t. That right there is the function in terms of r. Now there is another way of writing this. You can do something called expanding this log out. Whenever you have two things divided in a log, you can expand it out. So another answer for r could be ln a minus ln p all over t. That is another format that you might see on a multiple choice test. Because when you divide inside of a log, you can separate it and put a minus in between. It's still all divided by t. Just another format. These are both acceptable. If it's multiple choice, you just might have to see which one they might put.